How's it going? I'm Mark Schneider, you're watching Schneider Classics, and there's another car. Oh, why am I climbing this? I was not. Most brilliant idea. Whew. That's not fun. I should probably just bolt them back up so I can just get in and out, but what's the fun in that? So as you can probably see behind me, before I show you, as much as we know I'm bad at making decisions. Oh, you guys don't know about that one yet, but I'm not the smartest with making decisions around cars. I'm happy to say that I'm starting to get in the habit again of buying, fixing cars. The problem is when they're completely junk like that one, and we take all the parts from that one to fix that one for the girl, we end up with stuff like this. This is a perfectly good running LS motor that's just in this thing that we tend to get issues. As well as you can see, it would be nice if stuff came with motors. This thing does not. I mean, at least I have one of the taillights. That's always a good sign. It is cracked, but it's still in one piece. But I guess it's time to show you the car. Come on. Easy exit. So if you're a car connoisseur and you know what this car is, just by the couple of shots, I got myself a real gem here. Oh. Oh. But let's get down to business. This here is now my, I told you in the DD Speed Shop video, and thanking all you guys, which I still gotta say, thank you all of you who voted for us, and I have no idea if I've gone to Bistain or not. I'm still hoping in the bottom of my heart that I'm bringing it home, but to ease the pain, we got this, which was a lot more than a single dollar. Not too much to break the bank, because I sold a bunch of parts off of that thing to pay for this. This is now my 1964 Pontiac Parisienne, what is it called? Custom Sport. And it took me 3 days, a lot of hours, a lot of arguing, a lot of everything with the DMV to get the damn title for this thing. Because this thing hasn't had a title in a long time. But I have the title for the car, so it is titled in my name. Now the oldest vehicle I own, almost an 80-year-old car. Holy crap. 40 plus, no, almost a 60-year-old car. Almost a 60-year-old. 20 more years it'll be. Pretty sure, like, this car is almost as old as my grandparents and will probably be around a lot longer considering I only have my grandmother. Little story here, this car has been sold as a parts car to like 4 or 5 different people for just Parisienne parts. This lucky guy paid more than what it's worth for scrap. Well, I'll tell you what I paid at the end of the video here. But paid more than what it's worth in scrap, because I think this car is only worth about $300 scrap, because it's in its current condition. I think it's maybe 3,000 pounds at most, because the interior's it's got no motor, it's got no transmission, it's missing a lot of parts from it, the back bumper's missing and all that, so I paid a little bit more than I probably should have. But I can gladly tell you, this car, as you can see, it doesn't have the badging anymore on it, but it did say Custom Sport. You can tell by the paint fade and the 4 little dimples that this was indeed. And those look like factory holes. They don't look like drill pivots. They don't look like that. That looks like that because the original paint there is bluish. You can see sort of there. It's a lot like that blue. It's supposed to be the blue like that car on this, but this car is very sun faded from sitting in the sun all of its life. Actually, the camera, I can see through the camera lens, it picks up the blue way better than it does in person. It needs to be cut, polished, buffed, and a little bit more love. So this car was destined to go to scrap. It's missing all of the glass. It's missing all of the trim, and for me, this is a scrap car like that one, which means I can do whatever I want with it. And if anybody gives me two shits, this car was literally just about to go to scrap, and I'll tell you why. The fenders are actually still pretty good. So the fenders and the hood's decent. It's filled with dents and riddled and body. Oh, that's a tear. That's a tear in the metal right there. It scratches, dents all over the place. Someone's been strapped it down at one point. This is all messed up. The whole front clip, even though it does have the grill buckets, even though the one's broken there, it's been bashed in here. I may have to stick a lot of persuasion in there to bend that back out. There's a nice dent there. Big old smokestack right there. He said that badge was broken, but he kept the other badge for himself, and he took this off in pieces or something. Not only did it have one antenna, it had two antennas. I'm pretty sure if I take off this hood, I can show you guys the trim. It's scratched up, but that's just painful. Actually, this hood would make an amazing window visor. Good to know. Now that we have this removed. If anybody understands these numbers, style 74472224, body number 7516258, paint W, trim 269 B70M351163. If anybody who knows what anything of that says, let me know. I did leave a little bit of a scratch here. Kind of annoys me because I wanted to keep that. I thought this was gonna be a good idea because I always see people place hoods on the roof. Definitely was not a good idea. So now here, if we just come up to this and go take off our door. VIN reads here 474470500871. I know a lot of people are always iffy about showing their VINs online and stuff like that. If you guys can tell me any information about these VINs to tell me what this car came with or motor wise or anything, because I can't tell. And I know I think that's an 11-digit VIN, so I can't put in any VIN coder that I know of because it's not 13 digits. I know with a lot of the 67 and 72 trucks, even the big rig trucks, if they don't have 13-digit VINs, typically they have 12 or whatever. You can actually, if you know it's a Chevy or a GM, you can add the first few digits, because that's what they did on a couple of those trucks. You could fill in the rest and put them in the decoders. I don't know anything about this car. Other than it's the same platform as the Impala and the Caprice. Like I said, the fenders are really good actually. And you can tell here. And the rockers are mostly good. A little crusty in spots, but mostly good. Frame's pretty mint. But the floor is atrocious. God himself would christen this as holy. Some of the carpet's still here. No steering wheel, but this is how your turn signal works. For anybody who doesn't know, old cars, this is a contact to the contact, hits that little metal spring, you'll click. So the positive wire then grounds out through, I'm pretty sure, the steering column, and that's how you get your signal. It's a ground out switch. It's a ground side switch. I don't know what switches any of these are. I have no idea. If someone wants to tell me what any of these switches do, I would love to know. There's my good old headlight switch, which I will rewire that switch in. Parking brake. Oh, that's not good. I probably should not have pressed that. That means that's probably engaged. No idea what this does. Is that the vents? Oh, that is the vents. Sweet. Is this my headlight switch? Cool. That. Brake's not hooked up, I know that. Gas pedal, obviously, there's no motor, so it's not hooked up. I think the gas pedal's right here. Yep. Good old floor gas pedal. It's, I mean, the balls are there. Pretty sure you just click this on. Oh yeah, there you go. Look, we got our gas pedal, our brake pedal, and our parking brake that I wish I did not do. Really neat, really cool. I wonder how I can get this gauge set to work digitally. Ooh, this car had over 300,000 miles, because it would have been miles then. I bet I can make this work, because that's electronic anyways with a resistance with the gas pump, but I don't really care. That's battery. I can get these things to work with what my plan is. I need that to be a digital readout, and I have to figure out with my motor how to get that, especially with my transmission, how to get it to send a signal to this, because that should be a gauged speedometer. Oh, I can't see back here. You guys can. I don't know. I'll have to look after. Ooh. Oh, those are my signal lights. Ooh, this is going to be fun to wire up to what I'm doing. And I'm afraid to tell you guys what I'm going to do with this car, so I'm going to wait a bit to tell you, but once you guys find out, you guys might hate me a lot, and anybody who doesn't want me to wreck this car, even though it's pretty wrecked, don't want me to wreck this car, come give me money for it, because I have the title. Oh, cool. Candy wrappers. Missing the clock. This is where the radio would go. Good old dash holding some of the door bolts. Big old blower motor, heater, and the floor, obviously. So these don't work. I already know that. It's the door card covering more holiness. To be honest, the car is not in the roughest shape. I just love how even with no door handles to line this up perfectly, she latches no problem, and it's not that bad of alignment. But the car, as you can see, especially once you get to these rears, that's gone. This side's actually not super bad, and the whole rear quarter here, especially with how bashed in and beaten it is, and hello, it's pretty much gone. And I do have the rear seats, because we have those. The trunk, we have a bunch of spare parts. Here's the door card, one of my tail lights, which I'm sad about, and they have to find the tail lights and the bumper. That I hate. But we do have dented up that I'll have to figure out maybe how to straighten that a little bit. Ooh, you can see that tear. Or, you know, if I can get that just to, oh wow, does that screw actually line up? Maybe. If I can get that to line up, I'll leave it dented, but maybe not. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I love that. We have that. We have the taillights, even if I have to get a new lens for that, and we need a bumper. These are the exact same on any old car, so I can probably pull these. I probably have a bunch of these in the stash from the truck. They're the exact same wipers as the truck. There is the trim that's missing from that side. Yeah, because they're pulling up carpet, you'll see more holes. This structure, this complete structure here is not very good. Somebody's already put a welded strip just across the whole thing. Gas tank's been removed, luckily. It's pretty holy in spots. It's not horrible holy. I mean, the trunk still works. And once I figure out the hinge situation, the hinges are still there and the springs are just on the battery tray. So they are there. Pretty, it's mostly straight, other than right there and right at the wheel well. This car has been christened many times. As you see, I just put a new pinstripe on her. That actually does upset me a little bit because I want to keep this paint patinaed for what I'm doing. It's missing most of the trim. Windshield needs to be taken out. It is an electric window motor, so I might keep this one to go with this cowl setup with what I'm doing. You can tell here the body line is cracked here as well, so it had an impact here, which you can see where it had christened right here. There's a big dent where my foot is. You can see the outline of it. It's pretty much my foot. Christened right there and cracked there. Bottoms are not really existent. Like I said, the rocker's half there. Fenders are good. That's important. And the fender trim is still there, just none of the trim on the rest of the side of the car. You can see here, we still have the brake there. What is that thing? I don't know what that thing is. Is that the washer motor? That might be the electric washer motor. That's super cool. Firewall is still in pretty good shape. There's the heater core that comes down to control the heat to the intake. It's got a power assist factory steering linkage, which there. The tubs are pretty good, which funny enough, I don't need those for what I'm gonna do. Nor will I need the firewall or a lot of these parts. That hood just latched. Great. I may have to fight that again because it's the only reason it's hard to get it in and out of the latch position is because somebody whammied it. Pretty good. I do have the diff that's in this car. You can see where it was splitting and they patched it. But if you can see back there, there's still a diff in the car. Whether it's good or not, whatever, there's still shocks. Whole 9 yards. All of that wonderfulness. The inner tubs are still mostly good. But I have a plan for this car. The car overall is actually still buildable. And I mean, if somebody really wanted, because you can see by the badging, and if somebody knows these trim packages are nicely good, the back body mounts are pretty much sunken in the body, and they're gone. The center, your rear to center body mounts, they're all completely gone. Your front ones are still okay, I can tell you that. I rat rod a little bit, I butchered a little bit. I use what I have to put it back on the road. Will this car go back on the road with my plan? Yes, it will. Will it be conventional and the smartest back on the road and something that people should follow? Not at all. We all know people, especially rat rods are very, very common. Rat rods are a huge thing after the world wars because people came home, you didn't have nothing, you just built it out of whatever you had laying around. Well, I have this laying around. I have something I pointed out a couple times in this video laying around, and I'm gonna mix those two things together. And some people might get very, very mad because a lot of these stuff is gonna get, and what I mean by that is this whole car, if I'm doing what I want to do with it, has to be shortened by 14 inches at least. And the plan to do with that is take the easiest thing, 10 inches out of the fender and hood, because you can work on those off of a car. They're pretty easy to negotiate. Probably 10 inches here, and then angle it up, shrink, and tie that in, and 10 inches from wherever, hopefully it marks here, off the hood. Now you're going to ask me, where else we're getting those 4 inches? Because you could say, oh, you're getting off the back of the car. No, I don't care about total length of the car. What I care about is from wheel to wheel. Now, my plan is, and it kind of sucks, we're going to take 4 to 5 inches out of here. One, because the body lines match up almost perfectly, and it'll allow me to do something because we don't have glass anyways, and I have a cheap fix for that. We will have to probably make a pie cut here, and probably 1.5 to 2 inches out of the pie cut there, and a couple inches out of the bottom of the windshield here, and this will get sucked in. And we will chop the windshield because we'll be able to bring the whole thing forward by taking those sections out of there, bit of a pie cut there, and shortening that down to dive that forward. Because you take a couple inches there, bring it forward, well, now you have a straight angle. So then you gotta take a little bit of a pie cut there and bring it down. making this windshield probably half of what it's going to be. I haven't edited it in Photoshop yet, but I want to Photoshop what this car's going to look like. But the reason that where they chopped this from 120 inches down to 104 inches to wheelbase, what color matches the color anyways on the underside? This is 104 square inches, and you can see I've already started the gutting process of this because that's what we're doing. I gotta finish taking all this out. The entire interior's got to be taken out. All of the interior's got to be taken out. I gotta take off this glass. The rear quarters of this car are going to be coming off. The glass has been coming off. I've been doing little interior pieces here and there, but everything, the trunk's already been gutted. Everything on this car, this side obviously was bad anyways, and everyone knows from my video months ago on me starting to do the repair on that side, and it was a lot. So this is a unibody car, that's a body on frame car. This car will become a unibody car. These platforms will become welded together. Now my plan with this on the car here is obviously cut the floor. I have to do the rockers anyways, and funny enough, the original Sunfire rockers, because I still have them, that angle doesn't look too much different from what it is factory anyways without the trim. And I laughed at both in the 60s and modern day, Pontiac use trim on the rockers to cover up the look of the rockers. The Sunfire rocker is almost pretty much spot on. You can see the drop here, flat angle down, little cut for the dip. Oh look at what's there. A reminiscent of the old pinch weld. Pontiac kept their rockers the same for 40 goddamn years. Good on them. Because it saves me a boatload of money, because now I'm going to tell you this: if you're looking for your Pontiac 64 Parisienne rockers, go buy yourself some Sunfire rockers off Amazon for $100, because I bought both of these as a set for $100. Cut the tops off for the door sills, because this is for a 4-door. I was going to use it for the 2-door and just cut the back door access and probably just attach it to here to extend the door length. Now, those will probably just get completely chopped off to match this lip, which needs to be repaired right there anyways. I'll see what I do. Might have to do a little bit of repair, because this will also match up with that door still anyways. It will match up pretty damn perfect, and the doors are almost the exact same identical length, so by just skinning the doors it'll be probably pretty easy. I probably could just take 4 inches out of the door and cut the window door here and bring it up. We'll have to see what I do. Ooh, I love that. Really have to rewind. So I have rockers for this car. I have a driveline for this car because that car runs and drives. It needs new suspension and brakes and brake lines, and of course a body, which we got right here. We got this. I'll be able to buy a cheap door handle to go on here, but this just goes, oh my god, obviously just right. How does it go? Like this? Yeah, this goes like this. And that's how you open the door. I bet you that this is taken off because, oh no, it's not seized. It's great right there. All right, so this still works. I'm actually going to probably leave that there for me to remember. So yes, this car is going to become that car, and this will all get cut. The front windowsill and the whole cowl, probably I'm just going to cut the firewall and drape the whole front firewall on top of this to keep the front door stills and weld in supports. Because obviously, as you see, we got to make up some width. So this car, as you can see, the tires almost hit right on the outside of the body line, just like that car. If you go and look at, here, come take a look. The rear of the wheel sticks out past the bumper. Same with the front. You can see it's in the door skin. Well, on these older cars, your wheels sit kinda right there, inside the body line. So width wise, because this car I think is like 8 inches wider, that's actually not a problem because, well, where the tires sit anyways, and that helps me because then I don't have to cut this door structure out. I can keep this door structure, which helps me a ton, and reinforce it with the other door structure. We'll just cut out the firewall, place it on here. This cowl just exists over top of this cowl, so there will be technically 2 cowls in this car. Just because if you look at how a Sunfire kind of sits lower, and I kind of want to keep the stock height wise, because these doors are obviously shorter. If we look here from the top of my car, it's not even at my nipple. You go over to this car and, well, it's just about at my, just for you guys to know where my nipple's at. So this car is a little bit shorter, so sitting it on top will be fine. I don't know what I'll have to do with the cowl. Well, actually, I think that cowl is actually pretty gutted and cut, and if I have to cut things out of the cowl to make that work and situated, I'm okay with that. Same with this windowsill and stuff, but this is all structure. I mean, this cowl, there's not that much to it anyways, so if we make some cuts to make the other window regulator fit in there for the cowl, for the windshield and everything, I'm okay with that. Yes, I gotta vacuum a lot of glass, which means we're gonna have modern wiring harness, modern anything, but we are going to use this dash. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to research a fuck ton on either a converter to convert digital to analog, because I'm pretty sure these things are analog over to the transmission on 64, because that's what my 67 is. So I don't know how they convert the analog to digital, or if I'll have to stick a little node in the back of the a stepper motor in the back there, which probably they probably convert a lot of stuff over to a different thing, because we are going to have the modern steering wheel, but I want to get rid of all of this shit on the column. So that's a lot of wire stripping back and cutting back. Obviously we'll keep the tilt, and we will keep signals and probably our light switch, I guess, even though I might just disable this and take all of this out and just keep the switch function, because it is just a node. Take out the wiring, and the switch function is actually in the column there. So I might keep this, put just a standard bar on this, keep this, and get rid of the windshield wiper stuff on this, so I can narrow this steering column down and actually capsule it, because you can see the actual steering column is not that big. So if we can just capsule this, so I can put it in that car no problem, probably take out the ignition switch and put it on the dash like I want, then we can have the steering column and the steering wheel, because it's just easier that way, and swap over everything else onto the dash, fog lights, whatever, hide the radio somewhere. But then we'll have a car with AC, command start, all of that in this old car. It's an idea. Like I said, if you want to stop me at any time, you don't want this to happen, just reach out to me, and we can probably make something happen. And if not, guess what? I'm gonna have fun, because I'm gonna build myself a rat rod, some custom car that I've been wanting to build a fully off the ground custom car for a while now, and this is gonna be custom on a budget. So now, yeah, I guess I'll get into what I paid for this car. I paid 500 bucks for this car. There's 350 bucks into that, there's 500 bucks into that, like right there already, there's 800 bucks. But driving, that's a running driving car. All the lights work on it, everything works on it, other than the body shot. This is a body. Convert the two, we're obviously gonna have to put in like other stuff into it. Like obviously that car's gonna need all suspension, all brakes, just to be safe. Doesn't need it, I want it, just because that's a safety factor. Anyway, and also we're gonna probably have to upgrade the coils to a heavier body, because this body, I bet you anything, this body weighs more than that. So we're going to be adding a lot of metal and a lot of weight to that car. Also, I said like that car sits lower. That car is sagged out right now, because I think the front suspension, we stole the front suspension off of it for her car. So this front suspension is the broken suspension. So I do know it's sagged out. So I do think these cars sit at the same height. Do you approve of my purchase?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a keeper.
Actually, you should get more.
No, we shouldn't yet. Let's finish what we got.
But then more afterwards.
I'm keeping you. So if you guys want to see more on this car and see all of the butchering that's gonna happen, and hate me for it, leave all your hateful comments down, or helpful comments, I don't care. See you guys in the next episode when we start breaking stuff.